My name is Nancy, and this is going to be the devotion for August 1st from Oswald's Chambers, My Utmost for His Highest. I have to put my reading glasses on. I'm over 55. August 1st, learning about His ways. The verse is Matthew 11, verse 1. When Jesus commanded His 12 disciples, He departed from there to teach and preach in their cities. He comes where He commands us to leave. If you stayed home when God told you to go because you were so concerned about your own people there, then you actually robbed them of the teaching of Jesus Christ Himself. When you obeyed and left all the consequences to God, the Lord went into your city to teach. But as long as you were disobedient, you blocked His way. Watch where you begin to debate with Him and put what you call your duty into competition with His commands. If you say, I know that He told me to go, but my duty is here, it simply means that you do not believe that Jesus means what He says. That's a really good point. The second point is, He teaches where He instructs us not to teach. Master, let us make 3 tabernacles. Luke 9:33. This is on the Mount of Transfiguration, where they wanted to make 3 tabernacles and stay, but He wanted them to go back, right? Are we playing the part of an amateur providence trying to play God's role in the lives of others? Are we so noisy in our instruction of other people that God cannot get near to them? We must learn to keep our mouths shut and our spirits alert. God wants to instruct us regarding His Son, and He wants to turn our times of prayer into mounts of transfiguration. When we become certain that God is going to work in a particular way, He will never work in that way again. That's a good point. Third part, He works where He sends us to wait. Luke 24:49. Tarry until. Wait on the Lord, and He will work. Psalm 37:34. But don't just wait sulkingly spiritually and feeling sorry for yourself because you can't see 1 inch in front of you. Are you detached enough from your own spiritual fits of emotion to wait patiently for Him? That 37 verse 7. Waiting is not sitting with folded hands doing nothing, but it is learning to do what we are told. There are some of the facets of His ways that we rarely recognize. That was a good one. Learning to go when He says go, and to wait when He says wait, and not go places that He says, and to wait patiently on Him, right? And don't sulk about it. Just go out there and do His will. Do what He's encouraged you and enabled you to do. So, learning about His ways. I hope that inspired you today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Hi everyone, my name is Nancy. This is August 2nd reading for My Utmost for His Highest, and I have my baby with me today. Hi Mandy, tell everybody hi. She likes to sit while I do my devotions, so let's get at it for August 2nd. The teaching of adversity. This should be good. John 16:33. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. I like to take a look at that also in my own Bible. Let's look up John 16:33. That's a good one that I have memorized, that verse, because I seem to have a lot of trouble in life. All right, we're looking for John 16:33, and He says right before that, you believe at last, but a time is coming, and the time has come when you will be scattered, and each to his own home, and you will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, for my Father is with me. And now He says right here, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And I have a point here about Todd's accident. That was way back in 2002, and a lot of times just waiting and waiting on that. But even though we have trials and tribulations, and that was a big, tough time for our family, we had faith that God was going to get us through that. And this verse is very comforting because we all have trouble, and Jesus is going to get us through. The typical view of the Christian life is that it means being delivered from all adversity. But it actually means being delivered in adversity, which is something completely different. I love this. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Psalm 91, verse 1. The place where you are at one with God. If you are a child of God, you certainly will encounter adversities. But Jesus said you should not be surprised when they come. In this world you will have tribulation or trouble, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So he is saying there is nothing for you to fear, nothing at all. The same people who refuse to talk about their adversities before they were saved often complain and worry after being born again because they have the wrong idea of what it means to have lived the life of a saint. God does not give us an overcoming life. He gives us life as we overcome. Wow, I have a star by that. That is really good. The strain of life is what builds our strength. If there is no strain, there will be no strength. I'm going to read that again. If there is no strain, there will be no strength. I guess this is how we're building up spiritual muscles because of all the strain, right? Are you asking God to give you life, liberty, and joy? He cannot unless you are willing to accept the strain. And once you face the strain, you will immediately get the strength. I love that. Overcome your own timidity and take the first step. Then God will give you nourishment. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat from the tree of life. Revelation 2:7. Now this part I have highlighted, starred, and circled. If you completely give of yourself physically, you will become exhausted. But when you give of yourself spiritually, you get more strength. God's math isn't like our math, for sure. God never gives us strength for tomorrow or for the next hour, but only strain for the moment. Our temptation is to face adversities from the standpoint of our own common sense. But a saint can be of good cheer, even when seemingly defeated by adversities, because victory is absurdly impossible to everyone except God. Wow. Oh, my friends, there's so much in there to unpack. We could talk about this for hours. But the main thing is, you need to just give up your strength to him. Don't try to do everything on your own strength and your own common sense. Just turn everything over to him, and he's going to give you the strength and the plans, and, be of good cheer. He has overcome the world. Hope you take that knowledge out in the world today. Make it a great day. Good morning, ladies. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. If you don't know that one, that's Psalm 118:24, a short, great verse to memorize, something you can say every morning just as a thanks to God for waking you up, right? It is a great day. Let's jump into August 3rd of My Utmost for His Highest. All right, ladies, you can see I got Mandy here with me again today. Let's look at August 3rd, the compelling purpose of God. Luke 18:31, he said to them, "Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem." Jerusalem in the life of our Lord represents a place where he reached the culmination of his Father's will. Jesus said, "I do not seek my own will, but the will of the Father who sent me." John 5:30. Seeking to do the will of the Father was one of the dominating concerns throughout our Lord's life. And whatever he encountered along the way, whether joy or sorrow, success or failure, he was never deterred from that purpose. He steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem. The greatest thing for us to remember is that we go up to Jerusalem to fulfill God's purpose, not our own. In the natural life, our ambitions are our own. But in the Christian life, we have no goals of our own. We talk so much today about our decisions for Christ, our determination to be Christians, and our decisions for this and that. But in the New Testament, the only aspect that is brought out of this is the compelling purpose of God. You did not choose me, but I chose you. John 15:16. Okay, let's look this one up. John 15:16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Then the Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. This is my command. Love each other. I love that passage right there. Okay, I love that verse, and I love that he chose us. Why? To go do and produce good fruit and to do his will, right? And to go help others. So that's why he chose us. We are not taken into a conscious agreement with God's purpose. We are taken into God's purpose with no awareness at all. We have no idea what God's goal may be, but as we continue, his purpose becomes even more and more vague. God's aim appears to have missed the mark because we are too nearsighted to see the target for which he is aiming, the target way out there. I'm looking right here, right? At the beginning of the Christian life, we have our own ideas as to what God's purpose is. And we say, God means for me to go over here or over there. God has called me to do this special work. We do what we think is right, and yet the compelling purpose of God remains upon us. The work we do is of no account when compared to the compelling purpose of God. It is simply the scaffolding around His work and His plan. He took the 12 aside, Luke 18:31. God takes us aside all the time. We have not yet understood all there is to know of the compelling purpose of God. I really like that. I like the example of the scaffolding, that we do. The work that we do is kind of like the scaffolding around His plan. There's so much more that He's doing. So I pray today that encouraged you, and you remember that we are here for His purpose and that He has a plan for us, and that the best thing that we can all do is every day submit to His will and His plan and see what He has in store for us. Have a great day. Good morning, sweet friends. Today is August 4th, and we're going to jump into My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. The brave friendship of God. He took the 12 aside, Luke 18:31. I'm going to go ahead and read the whole verse here for you. This is Jesus predicting His death. Verse 31. He took the 12 aside and told them, "We are going up to Jerusalem, and everything that is written by the prophets about the Son of Man will be fulfilled. He will be handed over to the Gentiles. They will mock Him, insult Him, spit on Him, flog Him, and kill Him. And on the third day, He will rise." So He's talking about His death, which He knew what was coming. "Do you say, 'But He has been unwise to choose me, because there is nothing good in me, and I have no value'? That is exactly why He chose you. As long as you think you are of no value to Him, He cannot choose you, because you have a purpose on your own to serve. But if you will allow Him to take you to the end of your own self-sufficiency, then He can choose you to go with Him to Jerusalem. And that will mean the fulfillment of purposes which He does not discuss with you." He's not going to tell you the future, right? You just have to trust Him one day at a time. We tend to say that because a person has natural ability, that he'll make a good Christian. But it is not a matter of our equipment, but a matter of our poverty. Not of what we bring with us, but of what God puts into us. Not a matter of natural virtues, of strength, and character, or knowledge, or experience. All of that is of no avail in this concern. Interesting, isn't it, how he flips it? The only thing of value is being taken into the compelling purpose of God and being made His friend. See 1 Corinthians 1:26. God's friendship is with people who know their poverty. Wow. And I have this part here, starred. This is really important. He can accomplish nothing with a person who thinks that he is of use to God. As Christians, we are not here for our own purpose at all. We are here for the purpose of God, and the two are not the same. We do not know what God's compelling purpose is, but whatever happens, we must maintain our relationship with Him. We must never allow anything to damage our relationship with God, but if something does damage it, we must take the time to make it right again. I've highlighted this next part. The most important aspect of Christianity is not the work that we do, but the relationship we maintain and the surrounding influence and qualities that are produced by that relationship. That is all God asks us to give our attention to, and that is the one thing that is continually under attack. That really spoke to me today. So often we think, it's what we do for God that really matters, but here He's saying the relationship is what really matters. So I hope you just work on your relationship with God today and just ask Him, Lord, what am I to do today? And He will make it very, very clear. But He does only do that one day at a time. He's not going to tell you what next week or next year will bring, which is probably a good thing because sometimes we don't want to know that far ahead, right? It might be a little scary, but just take each day at a time. Ask Him, God, what can I do for you today? And maintain that relationship. That was a really good one for today. I hope you're blessed. Have a super day. See you tomorrow. Good morning, my friends. This is August 5th for My Utmost for His Highest. The bewildering call of God. Luke 18:31 and then 34. Let's look that up. Luke is New Testament. Here we are, Matthew, Mark, Luke. Okay, we've got Luke 18:31 and then 34. Yesterday we did 31, so we'll repeat that and then jump down to 34. Jesus took the 12 aside and told them, "We are going up to Jerusalem, and everything that is written by the prophets about the Son of Man will be fulfilled. He will be handed over to the Gentiles. They will mock him, insult him, spit on him, flog him, kill him, and on the third day he will rise again." Here's verse 34. The disciples did not understand any of this. Its meaning was hidden from them, and they did not know what he was talking about. God called Jesus Christ to what seemed absolute disaster, and Jesus Christ called his disciples to see him put to death, leading every one of them to the place where their hearts were broken. His life was an absolute failure from every standpoint except God's. But what seemed to be a failure from man's standpoint was triumph from God's standpoint, because God's purpose is never the same as man. And I'm sure they were bewildered and I would be heartbroken too. This bewildering call of God comes into our lives as well. The call of God can never be understood absolutely or explained externally. It is a call that only can be perceived and understood internally by our true inner nature. The call of God is like the call of the sea. No one hears it except the person who has the nature of the sea in him. What God calls us to cannot be definitely stated, because his call is simply to be a friend to accomplish his own purposes. Our real test is in truly believing that God knows what he desires. The things that happen do not happen by chance. They happen entirely by the decree of God. God is sovereignly working out his own purposes. If we are in fellowship and oneness with God and recognize that he is taking us into his purpose, then we will no longer strive to find out what his purposes are. As we grow in the Christian life, it becomes simpler to us because we are less inclined to say, "I wonder why God allowed this or that," and we begin to see the compelling purpose of God lies behind everything within that purpose. A Christian is someone who trusts the knowledge and the wisdom of God, not his own abilities. That's really good. And if we have purpose on our own, it destroys the simplicity and the calm, the relaxed pace, which should be the characteristic of children of God. Got a little star by both of those. That is really good. It's important to remember his call on your life. And even when you're going through bad times or hard times, remember, just go with his pace, follow his lead. He's not going to give you more than one day at a time. And even though it's bewildering right now, from the big picture, he sees and he has a plan. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. You can order the My Utmost for His Highest devotional book by going to utmost.org. And I would love to answer any questions you may have about faith in Jesus. You can email me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. I hope you go out and shine for him today. See you tomorrow.